Welcome back. The objective of this session is inheritance and the type of the inheritance. We know that the inheritance is one of the major principles of object-oriented programming language that was not available in procedure-oriented programming language. Let us see this topic in detail. Inheritance. We have already seen this diagram. Here, the what are the features of the parents are inherited in the child, but reverse is not possible. Let us take a practical example. Consider the case of college. We have a student class and we have a class teacher. We have a few variables, that's a name, mobile number, address, attendance, semester, percentage, and few methods in a class student. Similarly, in a class teacher, we have a name, mobile number, address, designation, department, and salary as the variables and few methods. We can find out that here the sum of the variables are common. These are the name, mobile number, and address. Similarly, we might have some code of the method which can be common also. So if we will write this common code again and again, so it will be more complicated and and it will be very difficult for us to understand it. So here we have one solution, that's the inheritance. What we will do is for the common property or the common code, we will create a one class which is known as a base class or is known as a parent class. The name of the class has been given as a person over here. You can see that here we have given all the common properties and the common method, and then we have done the inheritance into the class student. So the class student get all these property of the person plus its own property. Similarly, class teacher. The class teacher has the property of a person plus its own property. That's the inheritance is. So inheritance is a process by which one class takes the property of the other class or the classes. Main advantages of inheritance is reusability of the code. You can use the same code again and again. So that's the reusability of the code. Types of the inheritance. There are basically 5 types of the inheritance. These are the single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, and hybrid inheritance. Let us take the example of them. Here we have a class A and class B. If the class B will take the property from the class A, that is known as a single inheritance. Then we have a this is multi-level inheritance where the class A's property has been inherited in class B and class B's property has been inherited in class C. So finally class C has its own property plus class B's property and class A's property. Here we have a multiple inheritance. Here the class C takes the property from class A plus class B. Now we have a one more inheritance. That's a hierarchical, and then other is a hybrid inheritance. In the case of the hierarchical inheritance, we have a hierarchy of the classes like this. Class A has been inherited in class B and then class C. This is a hierarchical inheritance. Here we have a hybrid inheritance. Class A has been inherited into the class B and class C. Class B and C has been inherited into the class D. So if we will take it the upper portion of a basically figure, then it's a like this portion, then is a hierarchical inheritance. And if you will take this portion, so this is basically multiple inheritance. And if you will take only this class A, B, and C, then you will get a multi-level inheritance. So that's why this is a hybrid inheritance. Now let us start for the coding of inheritance very first program. Here we have a class 1. This is known as a base class. This is also known as the child class or the super class. And here we have a one variable integer I equal to 8. Here we have a class 2 which inherit the class 1. So this is basically inheritance x times 1. So here the class 2 has a I and j both the variables available. So we can assume like that, or we can think like that this variable is also available over here, like fine. Okay, now here we have created an object of class 2 bg1, and then we can refer the I and j both because both variable is available in a class 2 due to the inheritance. Now let us check it. Fine. Okay, we can access 8 and 10, that's I and j. Fine. Now let us go to the second program. Here we can put the variable I as a private also. Private means we cannot inherit. Private means we can access it inside the class only. So here, this after inheritance, the I variable will not be available over here. So here, whenever we access I, it will give a compile time error. For this case, we can access the J. So let us see this. See, we got error I as a private access. So now let us go to the now third one. Similar to the variable inheritance, we can also inherit methods also. Here we have a one program. In the program we have a fun method. For the simplicity we have put on the message that we are in fun, in one's fun. We are inheriting the class 1 into the class 2. Then the object of class 2 has been created, and then we say obj1.fun. So again this function will be available over here because it's an inheritance. So we have to assume that this function is also available like this. So what is the code we have written that will be executed? Let us see it. Fine. Okay, now let us move to the next program. Constructor in inheritance. Now here we have a two constructor, the class 1 or the base class. For the simplicity, in both the constructor we have put on the appropriate message. Now the class 2 extends the class 1. Similarly, we have a two constructor, and then we create object of class 1. Then again what we can think is this, for the first object this constructor will be executed, and for the second object this constructor will be executed. Fine. This program will be useful for the next program. Let's check it. Fine. Okay, now let us move to the next program. Here what we can do is we can put it over here as a 2, and then we can think what will happen. So whenever we will create an object of class 2 obj1, at that time it will jump to this constructor. Here it will find out which constructor of the base class should be executed. We have not written anything over here, so it will jump to the default constructor. It will jump over here, it will execute this, will come back and will execute this. So the output will be in 1 and in 2 for the first statement, for the first object, and for the second object. Again here it will jump to this constructor. Here we have not mentioned which constructor of the base class should be called and executed. So it will jump to the default. Whenever we have not mentioned, it will go for the default. So it will print in one, then it will come back, we will execute this. Let us see it. Fine. In one, in two, in one, in two integer x.